Get ready to step into the fascinating world of think tanks. Today, I'll guide you through how these crucial institutions came into existence, gained power over time, and left a deep impact on the world. Together, we'll explore the remarkable influence think tanks have had on societies and international relations. Let's dive into this exciting journey. The emergence of think tanks, seeds of a thought revolution. The story of think tanks begins in the 19th century, during the major transformations brought about by the Industrial Revolution. In an era where information and analysis rapidly gained value, societies faced complex problems. This is where think tanks were born, driven by the need to produce strategies and ideas to solve pressing issues. One of the earliest examples is the Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, founded in 1831 in England. RUSI was not just a military academy of its time, but also played a critical role as a think tank focused on developing military strategies. As the British Empire expanded and its global influence grew, RUSI became pivotal in the modernization of the British Army. The innovations it brought to military strategy resonated not only within the UK, but worldwide. Its work on naval power and land warfare doctrines contributed to Britain's rise as a global superpower. One of RUSI's greatest achievements was its ability to adapt the British Army to new technological and geopolitical developments through strategic analysis. The institution didn't merely provide guidance for military leaders, but also played a key role in shaping defense policies. For instance, the strategies offered by RUSI significantly influenced Britain's success in the Crimean War, 1853-1856. Furthermore, its work on naval strategies helped maintain the dominance of the Royal Navy on a global scale. RUSI did not just provide guidance for past wars, but also laid the foundation for future military doctrines. Its expertise in military modernization and defense strategies made it an international reference point, serving as a model for other countries. Since the 19th century, RUSI has greatly contributed to shaping new military and strategic doctrines worldwide. In this sense, the period when RUSI was founded clearly demonstrated how think tanks were not only producers of knowledge, but also dynamic centers that shaped the world. Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Founded in 1910 by renowned industrialist and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie, the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace was one of the first international think tanks dedicated to promoting global peace. Carnegie's vision was to resolve conflicts peacefully and prevent the destructive impacts of war. To achieve this, the organization brought together world leaders, diplomats, academics, and civil society organizations to discuss and solve international issues through conferences and forums. While emphasizing diplomacy to maintain peace, the Carnegie Endowment also advocated for the development of constructive policies to prevent the devastations caused by war. After World War I, the organization contributed to the foundational ideas and strategies that led to the establishment of the League of Nations, the predecessor of today's United Nations. The work of Carnegie Endowment focused not only on diplomatic solutions, but also on international law and human rights. The projects supported by the organization laid the groundwork for international peace and security. Carnegie's vision extended beyond simply ending wars. He sought to establish stronger diplomatic and cultural ties between nations. To this end, the institution also played a vital role in advancing international law. As the first global think tank dedicated to promoting diplomatic solutions, Carnegie Endowment proved that peace could be achieved and sustained, influencing modern diplomacy. Now let's shift to the Cold War era, when think tanks truly came into the spotlight. As the strategic competition between the United States and the Soviet Union intensified, think tanks became increasingly important. One prominent example was RAND Corporation, which played a critical role in providing defense and security strategies to the U.S. government. RAND's work during the Cold War era helped shape the U.S. nuclear deterrence strategies. Perhaps its most notable contribution was the development of the Mutually Assured Destruction (MAD) doctrine. This theory suggested that a nuclear war would result in the total annihilation of both parties, making the use of nuclear weapons a deterrent. The doctrine, developed by RAND researchers, became a turning point in world history, preventing the two superpowers from engaging in direct nuclear conflict, and thus sparing humanity from a potential catastrophe. By the 1970s and 1980s, think tanks not only influenced military and political matters, but also played a significant role in shaping economic policies. For example, the Heritage Foundation, an American think tank, had a major impact on the development of Reaganomics during Ronald Reagan's presidency. The Mandate for Leadership report by Heritage Foundation presented hundreds of policy recommendations to the Reagan administration, many of which became official U.S. government policies. This is a powerful example of how think tanks can directly influence a nation's economic direction. Think tanks' influence wasn't limited to politics and economics. They also introduced groundbreaking innovations in international relations. For instance, Chatham House, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, developed the famous Chatham House Rule, which revolutionized the conduct of international relations. This rule allows the content of meetings to be shared while keeping the identity of participants confidential. This approach enabled more open and candid discussions during international diplomatic meetings, shaping the course of many critical negotiations. Another fascinating example is the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR's War and Peace Studies program. During World War II, in collaboration with the US Department of State, this program developed comprehensive research and policy recommendations for the post-war world order. The work of CFR contributed significantly to the establishment of the United Nations and the Bretton Woods system, laying the foundation for the modern international economic order. Today, think tanks are navigating new and complex challenges such as digital transformation, artificial intelligence, and climate change. The World Economic Forum, WEF, for example, not only provides advice to governments and businesses, but also works on initiatives like the Great Reset, which aims to make the global economy more sustainable, inclusive, and resilient. This initiative is having a profound impact on global economic policies, sparking widespread debates. Whether people support or criticize it, one thing is certain: WEF's proposals are shaping the future of the world. Power, mystery, and intrigue. Behind the scenes of think tanks. Think tanks, while often viewed as centers of strategy and policy production, have also found themselves at the center of unexpected events and intrigues throughout history. Providing valuable information and analysis to governments and politicians, they have sometimes been drawn into power struggles. A striking example is the case involving Brookings Institution. During the turbulent 1970s, as the Watergate scandal rocked American politics, the influence of think tanks on political power became evident. President Richard Nixon and his team believed that a secret report was being kept at Brookings Institution, containing criticisms of Nixon's decisions related to the Vietnam War. Convinced that Brookings was taking a critical stance against his administration, Nixon planned a significant raid on the institution. Some of Nixon's advisors even suggested breaking into the Brookings building to steal the documents they believed were locked away. This incident highlights the influence think tanks can wield and how they can sometimes become targets in political power struggles. Brookings Institution was no longer just an advisory organization, but had become powerful enough to make it onto Nixon's enemies list. This case shows how think tanks play crucial roles not only in shaping policy, but also in the balance of political power. The planned raid on Brookings never occurred, but the event serves as an important lesson in understanding how critical the roles of think tanks can be behind the scenes. Such incidents underscore the complex, sometimes mysterious roles that think tanks play in shaping policies. Think tanks are not just places where ideas are generated. They are also dynamic forces that shape global politics, economies, and social structures. Many pivotal decisions throughout history have been influenced by the research, analysis, and strategies produced by these institutions. Today, think tanks serve as guides for policymakers, governments, civil society organizations, and business leaders, while also acting as catalysts for global change. In our modern world, the role of think tanks is more critical than ever before. Rapid technological advancements, new economic dynamics brought by globalization, digital transformation, and global issues such as climate change are forcing governments and leaders to make more complex strategic decisions. This is where think tanks step in. They propose innovative solutions to these complex problems and help governments and the private sector make more informed and strategic decisions. For example, the World Economic Forum's strategies on climate change play a major role in shaping global policies for sustainable development. Think tanks do not just provide knowledge, they also directly influence decision-making processes. These institutions often work closely with academic circles, governments, and the business world. In times of global crises, wars, or pandemics, the strategies proposed by think tanks may be behind some of the most critical decisions on the world stage. Think about it. Right now, a report being written, a strategy being proposed, or a meeting being held at a think tank could be laying the groundwork for a future political or economic decision. One of the best examples is the nuclear deterrence theories developed by Rand Corporation during the Cold War. These theories became the foundation of the United States' strategic military policies, marking a turning point in world history. Keep watching for insights, analysis, and strategic content. Remember to subscribe to our channel.